Welcome to Chem 100. My name is Devin McBain, or Professor McBain, or McBain. That's what I would prefer to be called. So welcome to Chem 100. Welcome to a corner of my apartment. This is probably where you're going to be seeing me for most of the semester. With us today, we have my spouse, Jonathan. He's playing Apex right now. It's his day off. It's winter time, so his business is pretty slow. And not with us at the moment is my kiddo, Freddie. He's currently napping, but when he gets up from his nap, then we'll make him part of this introduction video as well. And this is Fred. Fred just woke up from his nap. He had a good nap, huh? Always tell how good a nap is from how messy your hair is afterwards. Look, it's Freddie. You see it? Can you say hi? Can you say hi to Mommy's class? Got one of the cats. Oh wait, you can't see. There's cat. So I figured that I would give you a more personal, warm and welcoming sort of introduction. This is where you'll find me for office hours and for our activity sessions that we'll have on Zoom. So welcome. Let's do a quick rundown of the class. Most of this information can be found in the syllabus, but this presentation is not supposed to be a substitute for reading the syllabus. There are a lot more details there. I've also got some additional policies that I outline about certain situations, academic honesty, resources, some statements on inclusivity, and if you find yourself in a caregiver role, and so on. So please do check out my syllabus. It's shiny and new, and I'm very proud of it. But let's take a look at some highlights here. Please make sure that you sign in for your very first activity of the semester on time. It's chemistry and biochemistry department policy that students who want to actually be in the class must be present at their first activity or lab of the term within the first 15 minutes of the session. If they're 15 minutes late or more, they get dropped in order to make room for folks who are on the wait list who show up and express a deep desire to be added to the class. This still applies to online learning as well, so please make sure that you sign in to the Zoom session on time and don't be late, because if anybody's on the wait list, they're going to be added in your place. Second most important thing is that you please buy the book. This is the book. The ISBN number is in the syllabus as well if you need that. It's available directly from the publisher's Kendall Hunt and also at the Chico State Wildcat store. The hard copy is $76, and the ebook, which would be a direct download from kendallhunt.com, is $60.79. It is a workbook that you will need to be filling out all term, either in the lecture pages for your notes or in all of the activities. It's not impossible to do this with an ebook, but you might need a bit more technological savvy in order to do so and to have your notes saved. It may be a good idea to get the hard copy. I'll leave it to you to decide which one would be the best for your personal situation. If it were me, I would go with the hard copy because I'm a little bit old-fashioned and I find it easier to just reach for the right book instead of opening the right file on a separate device, but you do you. So lectures are actually going to be delivered to you asynchronously, just as videos on YouTube. So this is going to be kind of like a flipped classroom approach, if you will. So all of the lecture content are videos that you are asked to view by Monday at 8 a.m. Most of these videos are going to have been created by me, but I will occasionally pull some videos from other sources such as Khan Academy or Bozeman Science or what have you, all right? Most of these lectures are going to be broken down into 10-minute to 25-minute segments, so you're not going to have an entire hour-long video that you have to sort through. However, most of these lectures are actually lecture series, so you might end up having, say, 2 20-minute videos that you need to watch before the next Monday at 8 a.m. And all of these segments are required viewing, so please do set aside the time to watch them. Now, I just said that the lectures are going to be asynchronous videos, but The Monday 8 a.m. Zoom session is mandatory. It's worth 5 points towards your participation grade in the class. What we're going to cover in this 8 a.m. Zoom session each week is an overview of that week's tasks. I'm going to highlight upcoming due dates or an upcoming exam or any oddities to our schedule. I will also be delivering a brief content check type of quiz, either on Zoom or through Poll Everywhere, which we'll get into at our first lecture session. We will also do some example problems where applicable. Now, this is really going to be important starting in week 3 when I introduce dimensional analysis. And then after we're done working through the example problems that I think we should work through, I'll also open it up to question and answer session, or you can ask me questions about homework problems that you've already skipped ahead to. The Wednesday 8 a.m. Zoom sessions are optional. They're going to function usually like an open office hour, but only to you guys, my Chem 100 students. But Mondays at 8 a.m. are mandatory. The activity sections are going to be synchronous on Zoom. The activities are conducted according to POGLE, which stands for Process-Oriented Guided Inquiry Learning. In these activities, you will learn a new concept, process, or skill by working through this guided inquiry format activity. You'll get to do it as part of a group so that you can discover the concept together and share each other's insights along the way. There will be a little bit of work that you have to do ahead of time, but it shouldn't be very much. I would just like you to scan through the activities, take a look at any of the figures or models that you're going to be asked to go through. There may also be 1 or 2 activity videos that you need to watch before showing up to activity, and if there are, please do take notes on them. You'll hear in the Memory and Studying lecture series that it's not a good idea to just write down a transcript of the video. You should actually be paraphrasing, writing down key points, and so on. And then every week there is going to be a pre-activity quiz associated with the activity. It's really just, like I said, simple questions. Like in Model 1, there are some small black spheres. What do they stand for? And then it'll probably be a multiple choice question like, oh, it's chlorine, carbon, hydrogen, or oxygen, or something like that. All right? Then at your activity session, again, they're going to be held synchronously on Zoom, so please make sure that you log in on time so that you can hear any announcements or brief introductions or something like this. Please make sure that you have your book open and your pen in hand ready to start taking down notes that are from either what I say or what you and your group sort through together. If you decide to purchase the ebook, then please make sure that you've got your second device ready to take notes in your ebook on your PDFs, or have a paper notebook that you're gonna write down, I don't know, figure out your own method, y'all. Please make sure that you stay engaged with the class, but also with your teammates when you are escorted into your breakout rooms. Make sure to ask questions either of your teammates or with me when you have them. Make sure to stick to your duties as well. At our very first activity, you're going to learn what the duties are and who gets assigned which duties each week. So don't worry about that too much. More will be revealed. If your group can't come to a consensus about a certain question, then of course call me in and I'll discuss it with you. Or maybe I will say, you know what, we're going to have a class discussion about this, so hold on to that question, all right? There will be a variety of ways that you can get my attention, and again, I will show you those at our first activity session. Now, when we do come together as a group and I reveal either the correct process or the correct answer or something like this, make sure to go back to whatever notes you've taken thus far and please correct them. I can't tell you how many people just follow along, they listen, but then they're not realizing that I just told them something different from what they actually had written down. So please make sure that you go back through and you correct your work. Then after the activity is done, hopefully you will have learned something. You'll have learned a process, you'll have learned a few facts, and so what I would like is to assess how well you learned it by having you take a post-activity quiz immediately after you're done with the activity in our Zoom session. So you'll have worked through the activity as a group with your teammates, but the post-activity quiz is meant to be done individually. It's meant to assess your learning, not your group's learning, but yours. These will have deadlines that are specific to your own activity session. So if you're in the Wednesday activity, your post-activity quiz is due on Wednesday at 11 a.m. If you're in the Friday session, it's due Friday at 10 a.m. So basically, like, as soon as we leave, you're supposed to do the activity quiz. The answers to the quiz will be posted and made available on Blackboard on Friday at 11 a.m. So I highly recommend that once those answers are available, please go back and check through your answers, see which ones you got right, which ones you got wrong, so that you can correct yourself in your understanding well before the homework is due and long time before there's a midterm on this content. If you're having trouble sorting through your answers and your feedback on your own, then of course, please email me or set up a one-on-one appointment with me on Zoom if you need some assistance with that. Let's talk about some assignments. Homework will be assigned almost every week. It's going to be administered through Sapling Learning, and it is a $42 subscription. It's going to be fully integrated into Blackboard, which I'm very excited about. The first time that you log in, you will have to make a Sapling Learning account, and you'll have to register for the course. But after that, as soon as you click on any of the Sapling homework assignment links in Blackboard, you'll be instantly logged in, and then you'll be taken directly to that particular assignment, and you can just start working. These assignments will be due 1 week after the content has been delivered on a Friday. So for example, let's say that on a particular Monday, I assign elements, compounds, and mixtures. You have that first week, as well as the entire second week afterwards, to master that content and to turn in the homework assignment associated with it. All assignments have already been posted, so as soon as the folders are open, you can start working on them, and you can even get ahead if you want to. Reflection posts actually will be delivered to you every single week, and these are going to be discussion board posts. They're meant to be a metacognitive exercise that's going to get you thinking about your thinking and thinking about your learning and how well you've learned already. I ask you to tell me what your favorite and least favorite parts were of the content, to connect them to your life, to connect the activity back to the content or forward to the content. I also ask that you try out an additional homework problem on that content that we didn't already go over as a class, that wasn't covered in any lecture videos, and that wasn't part of an activity session that we did. I want you to try it out, and maybe you will fail, maybe you'll do fine, but then I would like you to reflect on what you still need to practice. So the idea here is that hopefully you're going to be choosing one of the most difficult homework problems so that you can figure out what's going wrong. Like I said, these are actually discussion boards that are going to post to a class discussion board. So once you have a post up, the entire class is going to be able to read it. And that's part of what I want going on. I want you to be able to see what other people are thinking about, to see what they're struggling with, and for you to be sharing out what you're struggling with as well. I'm hoping that this is going to also be fostering a greater sense of community than we have in this separate learning environment, because the class connection really does often help people get through this challenging class. It's also going to be extra credit each week to respond to another person's post with a deep and thoughtful reply. So definitely make sure to take advantage of that, because there's not going to be very many other extra credit opportunities throughout the semester. And more often than not, people are asking me for more extra credit opportunities by the final. So take advantage of them early and often. There will also be exams as one of the main summative assessments in this class. There are 2 midterms of different point values. The first one is Monday, February 22nd. The second one is Monday, March 29th. We will also have a final exam. Each of these midterms, 1, 2, and 3, they are all cumulative up to the point that they are given to you. This is because in chemistry, everything is cumulative. You need to have an understanding of prior content in order to do well on current content. That's just how things are in our discipline. These are all also going to be delivered synchronously on Blackboard. Okay, so they're all going to happen at 8 to 8:50 a.m. Pacific time on Blackboard. The 2 midterms will happen on Mondays. The final exam happens on a Friday, and it's actually going to be 2 hours long instead of 1 hour long. If you live in a different time zone than Pacific Standard Time, you will need to adjust your start time. All right, so for example, if you live in Colorado, you're actually going to be starting the exam with us at 9 a.m. your time. If you are overseas, for example, I think we have a student this semester with us who's logging on from China. Yeah, sorry, dear. You are going to have to adjust your exam time to Pacific time. Sorry about that. Some other details about formatting. To help curb cheating, I am going to make sure that these exams are delivered to you 1 question at a time. I'm prohibiting backtracking. There will also be different versions of questions that are delivered to you. I may even randomize questions. There may also be 1 question at the end or a couple of questions where you are asked to show the work that you had to write out for a particular question. All right, so I think that you can tell that I expect you will need to be writing things out on paper quite a lot. So when it does come to exam time, if any question that you have to work through, just make it a habit to show your work on a piece of note paper so that if there is a show your work file response requirement, you've got that work ready, and all that you need to do is take a picture, convert it to a PDF, and upload it to your Blackboard. If you're thinking that that sounds pretty daunting, don't worry. The pre-activity quizzes and post-activity quizzes, I'm going to make sure that you are thoroughly trained in how to do that file upload process. So don't worry too much about the nuts and bolts of that. We're going to have plenty of opportunities to practice that, all right? The exams and the quizzes, they will be open book and open note and open Blackboard. Technically, you will still have access to Sapling, but on exam days, I'm going to be hiding all of the Sapling assignments and answer keys. If you took thorough notes on homework assignments, that should be no problem. So please don't rely on stuff that is up in Sapling. But otherwise, every resource that you have available to you on Blackboard is fair game. The rest of the internet, though, is off limits. No Google, no Khan Academy, no YouTube, well, except for our lecture videos, no CHEM, and no other classmates. This is meant to be your assessment of your learning, okay? I do take academic honesty very seriously. You'll find in my syllabus that I have a very low tolerance of cheating. If you cheat on an exam and I have evidence that you cheated on an exam, then whether we talk about it or not, you're getting a 0 on that exam, and it is going to be reported to student conduct rights and responsibilities. If you cheat on another exam, you get an automatic failure of the course. Now, this also applies to the quizzes, which are worth fewer points in the course, but the idea here is that I really do have no tolerance for academic dishonesty, okay? So just don't let it happen. That's enough for right now. Do please take a moment to hop over to my syllabus to read about points breakdown, letter grades, additional resources, additional policies, and things like that. In my next video, I'm going to walk you through the course schedule, how to figure out what's due, and when to be on Zoom with me each week, as well as some additional deeper details on how to be successful in Chem 100 this semester. So, I'll see you next time.